Hi, the climate scam has been going on now for a while. But things weren't quite always as one-sided in the media as they are now. I'm going to show you a video 10 years ago. Just take a look at this and I'll talk about it as the video goes on. Jeremy Poole, the family man, like, share and subscribe. Let's just play on this so you can see.
So what is the professor's use of the word trick in an email in an attempt at climate change inception? What about the scientific data? Do the leaked messages make it tougher to convince people? Patrick Michaels.
Okay, start. I can't let it go. Do the leaked messages, this is talking about leaked messages, you'll see as the video goes on, make it tougher to convince people. Like just telling people the truth. As you have to convince them of something. It's not that tell them the truth and let them decide. No, we have to convince them one way or the other. So it already starts from a very biased point of view. Climate change is a problem. It is real. It's a problem. We have to convince them it's a problem. So already, this was 10 years ago. Listen to the response.
One of the skeptics, he's a senior fellow in environmental studies at the Cato Institute. And on the other side, a familiar face, Bill Nye, the science guy. Patrick, let me start with you. Just to be clear.
Okay, so we've got an actor, Bill Nye, the science guy, paid for to be an actor, and a real scientist.
You believe that climate change is real and that man contributes to it, but it's not as catastrophic as some fear, and it's probably not something man can really reverse. So if that's correct, what about these emails troubles you?
Well, a lot of what troubled me were the attempts to hide things from Freedom of Information Act. You got to wonder what's being hidden. Listen to this one, Phil Jones to Mike Mann. It's short, don't worry. Can you delete any emails you may have had with Keith, that's Briffa? Read the latest UN report. Keith will do likewise. Can you also email Gene and get him to do the same? We'll be getting Casper to do likewise. Oh my God, and the subject line for that email is FOI, Freedom of Information.
Okay, so there we have it. Hiding information from the UN report. Nitpicking what can be seen and what can't. And then getting rid of emails when you're being asked about the truth. So the last thing they want is the truth. This is what is being hidden, the truth. And we'll see at the end, after this video, I've got another little bit of Michael Mann, where he comes into all this. He's one of the main protagonists. And I don't know much about Michael Mann, but I can guarantee he's a multi-millionaire at the moment.
You were actually mentioned
what in the world
in some of these emails. They were actually talking about you. What did they say about you?
Yeah, well, they did not like the fact that I had a bunch of articles published in the refereed literature, and so they decided they would see who the editors were for those journals and try and influence their editorial decisions in the future. One famous one says, we may have lost control over climate research. We don't want to lose, I think it's geophysical research letters, lose control. These guys are saying that they have control over what goes into the scientific literature, and they're going to threaten editors if they publish papers by me or my apparently few friends?
Okay, so this comes down to peer-reviewed literature. If you can control that, you can control what scientists say. If you can control who pays the scientists, you can control what they say. And this is exactly what is happening. It is here. Now, Bill Nye is brilliant because he's a scientist. He knows much. He's coming on.
That's really dangerous because it biases the refereed literature. And that's the canon of science that we all rely upon to make our consensual decisions.
Bill Nye, what about that? I mean, you read the hacked emails. Patrick seems to have a point. Trying to manipulate peer-reviewed journals doesn't seem like a particularly ethical thing to do.
Well, having read the emails to the best of my ability...
Okay, we'll stop there. Having read the emails to the best of my ability. It literally says Bill Nye, the science guy. Which scientist cannot read emails? In plain English. To the best of my ability. Sorry, Bill, but come on.
With regard to the expression climate research, that refers to a specific journal that a specific scientist doesn't especially care for. So, there you go. The world's still getting warmer. Humans are still to blame.
Great answer, Bill. Yeah, it refers to a specific thing. No mention of why they deleted emails. Nice one, Bill.
You say the emails, when you get into it carefully, the emails are guys who are generally very, very concerned about the efficacy, about the quality of their research. And their concern is that people like Dr. Michaels are going to scrutinize it so carefully that they will be able to discredit it without really embracing the overall message.
So, got this right. They're deleting emails, so somebody like this Patrick Michaels can't scrutinise and discredit it. So it's that good that it can't be discredited. He would scrutinise it and discredit it. Bill, you give in everything to the opposition.
So it's a concern. These emails were hacked. People referred to other people as idiots. I am very confident that each of the three of us has been called an idiot from time to time.
You have.
But the details in the emails are extraordinary, and the work that these people are trying to do, trying to cover so many details, so many millions of data that have to be analyzed over centuries, and trying to coordinate this is very, very difficult business.
Patrick,
And sure enough, if you go through them carefully enough, you find phrases that are out of
Patrick,
context.
what in your
Lies.
mind, do you have
You
any
mean
question
lies.
that there was a deliberate attempt to manipulate and skew the data to have particular
Absolutely.
conclusions?
Absolutely. They said that they wanted to boycott certain journals if they published certain articles. Now, that means that the editors will all of a sudden certainly view things that might get them a boycott with a little bit of trepidation. And in fact, there were resignations from these journals. And another one, Geophysical Research
Isn't a
Letters.
boycott good for
They
you?
thought they had a problem. Not at all. These guys are major contributors to journals. Anyway, another one, Geophysical Research Letters, they said they had a problem with an editor because he was at University of Virginia. Well, just because I was there doesn't mean the editor is biased.
So, Bill,
And, then they said the leak was plugged there.
Bill,
Come on,
for you, Bill, this doesn't raise concerns about does it raise concerns for you, Bill, about the vast research on climate change that's been produced over the last few years, not just from this university, but just in general?
Now, when you refer to that university, by the way, right now, that university is where those data are stored. They have that responsibility. So, no, it doesn't. I think just as the gentleman you had from East Anglican University made mention, when these things are carefully reviewed, you'll see that there's people are chasing ghosts or phantoms.
So if they can be carefully reviewed, why get rid of the emails? Why get rid of the evidence? Carefully review everything. And didn't you just say a minute ago that they were worried about being carefully reviewed to find that there were problems? I think you just said that, Bill.
It's not that serious a business.
It's not chasing ghosts to say, can you all delete all your emails, each and every one of you, in response to a FOIA request?
So here's another problem. If you're a public figure, have you ever been audited?
You're talking to
When
me?
you're audited, it's
sure.
either one of you. It's a very, Dr. Michaels, it's a very difficult business when you're audited. So apparently, my understanding from what I could infer from this email, for example, they have a requirement to report within 20 days. This is in the United Kingdom. That's quite a burden. People are in the middle of their academic research. They might have obligations to teach classes. So to have
So do we all.
in my interpretation of the word skeptic, to have this burden to report in 20 days, they go, geez, we just don't want to bother.
So bottom
We don't want to
line-
get involved.
So let's delete the emails.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. So, but Bill, Nye, for you, basically, this does not change matters. Patrick, for you, this is a
No, in
smoking
fact, it
gun.
reinforces them for me.
The planet's still warmer than it was, but there are a lot of problems that are not going to go away because of these emails.
Patrick Michael.
Okay, that's the end of that. Yeah, so if you're going to be audited, the best thing to do is somebody from outside sends you an email saying, delete all your emails quickly. And that'll get people to believe you. Now, this is from CNN. So they are completely pushing the climate emergency. And for Anders Cooper, I think his name is, to actually bring on this debate means it was a serious leak. But of course, the actor Bill Nye will never, he's paid to do this, will never, ever say anything any different. But this is 10 years ago. Nothing has changed. They're pushing. Now it's pushing extreme climate problems. Nothing has changed. They're still trying to push this on us so they can earn money out of their carbon credits. Now, there's another, Michael Mann. He was the discredited hockey stick, inverse hockey stick. I'm going to show you something else that I came across. Let's see if I can just get rid of that. And not that. That's not what we want. There. Okay. Now, this is an article of the American Thinker. And this is again the same kind of time, 2012. 14 is the new 15. where it explains somewhere in 1997, 1998, the base temperature for the world that people relied on as their base dropped from 15 to 14 degrees. And this was James Hansen. And in March 1988, the second paragraph, a few months before NASA's James Hansen asserted before the Congress that the global warming was in progress, the New York Times quoted to him saying that he used 59 degrees Fahrenheit as the average global temperature to calculate temperature variations. Okay? And that was accepted. One of the scientists, Dr. James E. Hansen of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, Institute for Space Studies in Manhattan, said he used the 30-year period 1950 to 80 when the average global temperature was 59 degrees. That is 15 degrees. Okay? And that was what was reported before 1988. And suddenly, as we scroll down, you'll find now that they moved the base. And the IPC, and if you look at the early IPC reports, 15 degrees was the temperature, 15 degrees. It's all in this this report here. But at some point, I'll go straight on to the end of the article here. At some point, it's all in the, at some point, between 1997 and 1998, it changed. It says here, it's hard to pinpoint the exact date when the change from 15 degrees to 14 degrees was introduced. It most likely happened between 97 and 98. The 98 edition of the annual publication of Worldwide Watch Institute uses 14 degrees Celsius as the average global annual temperature. Okay? And provides details on how it was informed to change the temperature from 15 degrees Celsius. On page 69 of the report, a footnote below the table listing the average global average temperature for several years states, base number is 1 degree Celsius lower than the earlier vital signs. On page 184 of the same report, we see the explanation. So at some point they lowered it by 1 degree. In earlier versions of vital signs, World Watch added the temperature change reported by the Goddard Institute to be an estimated global temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. But the Institute has since informed World Watch that a better base number would be 14 degrees Celsius. James Hansen, again, Goddard Institute for Space Studies, New York, email to author 18th of January 1998. So, imagine the difference changing the base temperature of all your studies does. When none of the actual reports, you'll find it very hard to find something that shows a relationship between time and temperature. It all shows a relationship between time and change in temperature over the base temperature. So if you change that base temperature, the change looks massive. Because if you're going from 15 to 15.1, 15.2, that's a very small change. But if you're going from 14 to 15.1, 15.2, that's a massive change. Hence, the massive increase. If you change your base temperature, you've got a massive increase. Now, this is going back to 2012, 2011, and this change in temperature in 1998. And looking at CNN reports. But I'm going to keep going through, if possible. Anybody that listens to this, please send me old archives so I can review them and put them on YouTube. We need to get the message out there. We've been played for a very long time on this. This is part of it, changing the base temperature. Another part of it is deleting emails. There's lots there. Weather reports. Anytime there's a bad storm, it's global warming. It's global extreme warming. Well, please keep the links coming. I do try and use them as often as possible. Thank you very much to everybody for your comments. It's really important. You be good. Have a lovely day and goodbye.